Ladies and gentlemen, welcome as you are watching live for some NASCAR '07 content on a Saturday night here. Road course racing at the Watkins Glen International for the case of our Busch Series race on the custom schedule season. It is race 25 of 30. We're getting closer to crowning a champion. Tony Stewart is pulling way ahead of Kyle Busch and Jimmie Johnson. Jimmie Johnson comes into tonight's race on 3 straight DNFs, which have dropped him from only 44 points out of first 3 races ago, second in the standings, to third in the standings, but he is now 388 points back. We're almost 2 full races out of first. It's going to take a miracle to win the championship, but we're going to keep trying our hardest as we go to Watkins Glen, a track where Johnson finished second at earlier this season. You'll get to watch qualifying right here on the stream as we'll get to qualify now. No practice. I'm just going to jump into it. I mean, it's going to take a miracle for us to win the championship anyway. Should have decent speed. I had a top 5 car here. Ran top 5, really top 3 the whole race last time we were at Watkins Glen. Finished second. So Kenseth had the class of the field car that day. We'll see if he'll have the class of the field car here again in today's race. Not sure where Tony Stewart finished at Watkins Glen the first time, but I know we beat him. We just got to focus on winning races. I mean, plain and simple. We got to win out and hope for a miracle. I mean, Stewart's going to have to DNF at least once, if not twice, with us winning out to win the championship. And Kyle Busch is like 100 points ahead of us now, too. So now we can catch without a DNF if we just run the table here the rest of the season. Pretty good warm-up lap. Car feels like it's got a lot of grip. This is going to be an 82-lap race. And this is the lap that counts. Only 1 lap in qualifying on the road courses in this era of NASCAR for qualifying. Johnson, not great through turn 1. Felt like it took me an eternity to get back to the gas. Really aggressive line through the S's. Got a little loose. And not so great turn 1. I kind of locked the brakes up quite a bit getting into the corner too. Trending back in the right direction. Heading into the bus stop. Great set of corners through the bus stop for Johnson. Nearly perfect. Now into turn 5. Oh, overran the corner just a little bit. It was a big mistake. It's going to kill the straightaway speed as he heads for 6. '90-degree left-hand turn, now the 90-degree right-hand turn through 7. And then back to the start-finish line after that. Johnson trying to make a run at the pole. Got it. Pole for Jimmie Johnson, even with the 2 mistakes on that lap. Turn 1 and turn 5. I didn't see the margin there. I'll have to let it scroll all the way back through again, but it looked tight between me and Busch. No, I don't have iRacing. I do not. I don't even have a computer. I stream everything off my laptop. 2/10 of... I can't talk. 2/10 of a second difference between me and Busch for first and second. Tony Stewart qualified 5th, so he'll be starting back in row 3. And here we go. Green flag in the air, and we are racing with 6 races to go to crown a champion. Into this first turn on the get up to speed lap. A little contact with Kyle Busch as the teammates got together. Busch goes wide, in danger of losing a couple positions. Stewart on that inside row 3 lane is going to actually get to 3rd. Gaining 2 positions on the initial start with Busch going wide, and he also made a pass on whoever lined up behind Busch on the outside of row 2. Big block by Johnson, nearly turned himself on the straightaway, and now Tony Stewart's going for the bottom 3 wide. What a move by Tony Stewart. He goes from 5th to 1st on the opening lap of the race. Side by side between Mark Martin and Jimmie Johnson. Stewart barreled it in there. Johnson going to try to get him back. Really doesn't want Stewart to lead any laps. A lot of contact in turn 6 as Johnson's going to be extremely aggressive here to lead this opening lap. So despite a clean move in the bus stop by Tony Stewart, it'll be Jimmy Johnson still leading lap 1. Locking the brakes up down into turn 1. Running Stewart wide. Going to continue to do that through most of this race today. Let me tell you. Why is Tony Stewart so fast everywhere we go? Why? Busch did get back to 3rd. Michael Turner, Cars One Boy, Easy E Network, Wade Solinsky. Judo the Goober, thanks for tuning in. I was looking at the chat too long. Just completely used Tony Stewart up a ton there. He didn't deserve all that. That's me not paying attention. That's what that was. Rob LaPopel, thanks for tuning in also. Getting all the shout-outs out of the way. And now Stewart's extremely upset, and I think next time he catches Jimmy Johnson, he's going to try to wreck him. And he has every right to at this point. That one was just me not paying attention. I was looking at the chat too long, and that's been a huge cause for concern, I guess, these last few races with the DNFs we've had, although 2 of them were really out of our control. Fontana was all my fault. I'm going to put the full blame on myself there, but the engine failure at Texas with a great run there before that, unfortunately, Talladega had a pit road glitch, took us out of that one, and in that race, Stewart actually DNF'd too. But then it randomized the finishing order after we DNF'd, and he actually pulled away in points on us, even though he shouldn't have. Now, Stewart did lose 2nd place to Mark Martin again. Not sure exactly what the pit strategy is going to look like in this race. I would imagine it's 2 stops, maybe 3. I'd lean towards the side of 2. Got to focus on just trying to lead as many laps as we can. I mean, that's all we can do. This is a track that yields a bunch of cautions on these EA Sports games. We haven't had one in the first 3 laps, but we do get a lot of cautions in the bus stop. JC, thanks for tuning in also. Oh my gosh. That's twice. The Estes, I just completely blew the corner. I think I could go through there full throttle if I hit my apex right. I clearly didn't there. And Johnson almost lost the lead to Mark Martin, who actually went wide in the grass. And Martin's going to lose several positions. He just overdrove the corner there, trying to capitalize on Johnson's mistake from the corner before that. Now Tony Stewart's in 2nd, Busch to 3rd, and Martin's back to 4th again. And here comes Tony, who is hot after Jimmy Johnson. He's going to have to hold our own for as much as we can here and hope for the best. Thanks for that $1 super chat also, JC. Let's alternate through the different camera angles here in the early going. I'm going to be locking the brakes up. I'm going to be pushing this car extremely hard to stay in front of Stewart right now. You got to be laser focused. He might send me in the bus stop, honestly. There's a very good chance he's just going to yeet me off into the bus stop. Stewart gets nearly to the outside. It was close. Now Stewart overruns the bus stop. Nowhere near as bad as Mark Martin, though. He kept it on the racetrack. I think he was just pushing hard, trying to get to my bumper more than anything. That was a great corner through turn 5. Still didn't really pull away from him any. Funkhauser, thanks for tuning in also. Gives Stewart the outside in 6. Johnson takes the bottom, stays clear. Really don't want Stewart to get any bonus points at all cost. In this, oh, he turned him! He turned Johnson straight to pit road. Oh my goodness, and he's going to lose all of his positions on the racetrack, I think. I had a feeling that was going to happen, but I didn't think that this was good. I mean, he turned me straight to pit road. He couldn't have. Oh my gosh. I don't know where we're going to cycle out in all this. Because we pitted after the yellow came out. I aborted to avoid any penalties there, but there was nothing I could have done to miss pit. I mean, he just hooked me. I mean, we didn't have to see a replay there. I knew he was going to try something. He just sailed it. I mean, he sailed it off in there. I didn't hit anything. So, I mean, there's that, but... Wow, we're going to actually keep the lead through all that. I don't know how. I thought the way we were... No, we're not in the lead. We are not in the lead. Last place. Last place after Tony Stewart turns Jimmy Johnson. Damn, we got Dodge traffic going into one. I wheel hopped it pretty bad there. I forgot that they were going to do that. I didn't think I was going to get it woed up in time. Wow. I mean, that couldn't have been any worse. So much for qualifying on the pole. You got a guy racing for a championship against another guy racing for a championship, and he just turns him straight into the pits. I had it coming, but he didn't have to do all that. Now we really get to see how fast this car is. It's going to be a long time to get back through this field. The good news is we're really early in the race. Already gaining a ton of positions through the restart too. Oh, Vickers got a little loose. Back onto the gas there. Sailed it in on Kevin Harvick. Why do I keep doing that in the S's? That's the third time. I felt really sharp with the focusness. Oh my gosh. How many times? I think I moved across the track that time. I got squirrely after the first hit. Yeah, Harvick was definitely there. That was me that time. I can't get out of my own way now. Story of the last few races. On request for the championship, I'll tell you that much. And we caused the incident, so we'll be going straight to the back again. Unbelievable. Well, I didn't know if I was going to be in last or not. That's why I didn't pit. I caused the incident this time, so I can't pit for tires for the unfair advantage. I mean, this is unbelievable. Love the diecast in the back. Appreciate that. Of course, you got Diecast Racing League in your name, so makes sense. Just down to repair some of that damage from the last incident here for Johnson. Plenty of time to get back through it. Watch any ball game after the race today? No. No, I just grabbed something to eat. I only had about an hour between streams. A little less than that, so. I did see they won, though. I checked the score. A lot of runs late. Alright, so 2 cautions in the first 13 laps here at Watkins Glen. Trying to get as many of these spots back as possible. Cheated a little bit there into turn 1. A lot of it. Back up to 31st, just like that. Kyle Busch got to the lead on the restart, getting by Tony Stewart. Only passed him through the S's. Oh boy. Contact up ahead. Harvick got into the back of whoever was in front of him. Oh my goodness. I wasn't expecting them to stack up like that going into turn 6. Ran right into the back of Brian Vickers, causing yet another caution. I know they stack up in turn 1 on the restarts. I don't remember them stacking up in turn 6 on the last restart, because we got more than a lap in before that. Now cautions breeding cautions all of a sudden here at Watkins Glen. Everybody able to save fuel under the yellows. And straight to the back again. I mean, this is just the tale of how the last few races have gone, really. At this point, it's just been an abysmal week. From Monday to Saturday. It's unbelievable. Got a long race to go. I mean, I just got to stay out of my own way.
Nobody else decided to come in.
It wasn't my fault that we're back here in the first place. I mean, Tony Stewart did hook us pretty clean. And he turned us straight onto pit road, which is why we were in last. Sent us all the way to the back. Yeah, here we go again. Busch restarts from the lead this time, ahead of Stewart. That is insane. I mean, what were we, like 20, 30 miles an hour going through that corner? Halfway out of gas at this point in the run. With probably only 6 or 7 green flag laps at the most in this race. I think I'm just going to short pit, get myself some clean air. Give it a couple more laps. Cause, I mean, it's going to be a 2-stop race. I mean, even with the 3 cautions we had here, 3 cautions we had in the early going, still looking at this being a 3-stop race pretty easily. About 10 laps short. 10 laps short if we get 3 more yellows yet. Busch did maintain his lead following the restart this go around. And caution is out. Yet again. And it's debris off the 48. I thought that was potentially going to happen there. I had the damage patched down pretty good during the last pit stop, but I got in the back of, I think it was the 192 car in the restart headed into turn 1. And then it just got even worse. Caution number 3. again, cannot pit for fuel or tires. We did cause the yellow with the debris caution. Did not pit for fuel just now? No, I didn't. It's because I'm causing the yellows. I used to do this all the time, and then I went away from it. Now I'm like, nah, I gotta do it. It just doesn't feel right not pitting. My sister's dog's just looking into my soul right now, wants to sit in my lap while I'm... That ain't gonna happen. It's hard enough for me to focus as it is.
Looks like we were the only car on pit road during that entire caution.
Well, we've got 4 yellows. First 22 laps of this race. And this is, again, a track that usually yields a lot of cautions on this game. The only thing is I've caused 3 of them. Expecting the slowdown this time. They still check up too much. I mean, like, I did what I could there. I forgot the runoff isn't fast on the game here. Turn 1. It's not very grooved. A rippled pavement. When you're out in the country and you're approaching a stop sign, you'll have those rumble strips. That's basically what it is right there. Dog sit? No, my sister just has a dog. I'm the only one here right now. She's at work. Expecting the check up in turn 6 that time, and that time it didn't happen. Well, we made it a lap without a caution this time, so that's good. Well, I guess we did the last time too, and then we got the debris. Oh my gosh, they're checking up on the second lap after the restart now. I didn't think they were going to do the first 2 laps. Johnson's driven his way to 34th. Better restart than the one before. Definitely get a short pit this time around. Again, it's a 2-stop race. I need to get out of traffic. Get out of traffic, get some fresh tires by short pitting, try to get back into this thing. Big contact between the Ganassi cars in front of us. We're 3 wide middle. Still 3 wide middle. 42 got pushed a little wide there, had to lift to keep it on the track. Big dive bomb underneath Sorensen into turn 6. Johnson got it to stick, clears. Now he can get to the bottom in 7 because he will be pitting this time. And coming in. And I sped. Oh my goodness. Speeding penalty on pit road for Jimmy Johnson. I made a late dive. I was trying not to get killed from behind making the pit entrance, and we ended up speeding. I was 2 miles per hour over the limit. The speed limit was 70, and I hit 72 at the line. It was close. And that's where no practice comes into play there. No adjustments. Car's fast. I mean, we just got spun from the lead. And we just, I mean, it's the only reason we're in this mess. And now we have to sit for 5 seconds. The good news is with the speeding penalty, we're on a road course, so we're still going to stay on the lead lap. But obviously, that's 5 seconds is 5 seconds. It still costs us time. Now, the good news is we're on the right side of strategy. If we end up getting a caution here, we're going to leapfrog the field and get back to the lead this way. So that's another reason why I wanted to short pit. We're definitely in the window to make it a 1 more stop after this, which it was going to be a 2-stop race anyway. So that's the hope now, is Either we get a caution before everybody else pits, leapfrog them in the track position game, or you know, we cycle all the way through and at least we have fresh tires with clean air. Thankfully not an oval. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the awkward pause with the NASCAR official just sticking their hand in my face. Should have flipped him off like Kyle Busch did that year at Texas. That wasn't his fault. It was my fault I was speeding. Imagine just qualifying on the pole and getting your entire race strategy flipped on its side after lap 6 because the guy in second decides to turn you onto pit road, which forces you back to last place. Good news is Busch is still leading. Tony Stewart did get some laps let in, but Busch has led the most so far. So we're not looking at Stewart getting the max points day. And we do have to catch Busch in the standings too, but hopefully this thing just shakes out quite a bit. We end up with a solid finish. Yeah, we're running quick laps now that we're in clean air. Just ran my fastest of the day. That last lap. We'll get our typical bus stop cautions at times in this race. Without a doubt. I'm surprised we haven't seen it yet, but we get them every time we come here, so I'd imagine some point we will get them in this one. About 57, 58 seconds off the lead. About 58 seconds flat off the lead at the line that time. I want to see how far up the lead will be this next time by. Car does have a little bit of damage too. That's one thing that stinks about what's happened since we've been at the back of the pack. It didn't have damage from the Stewart spin though. I saved it there. I definitely feel smooth when there's nobody around me. Like, I'm running clean laps. Hence the reason why I'm running faster than anybody else on the racetrack. But about 0.6 quicker than Kyle Busch that last lap. So 0.6 of a second faster than the leaders when I'm in clean air. And fresher tires. Again, I do have fresher tires. So when they do end up pitting, you know, hopefully I'm not going to lose too much ground to them at that point. Even if a caution comes out after everything cycles through, I think we'll be okay there too. I mean, obviously we'll be in the middle of the pack at that point. And, you know, we're in with the squirrels again trying to survive restarts, but at least in the position side of things, we'll still leapfrog quite a few drivers. So this is really the best strategy I could have done at that point. Again, we're well within the window to make it on one more stop after the fact. They have not pitted yet. I mean, they would have to make it to lap 41 to even have a chance of making it on fuel the rest of the race. That's a long time. And even if they were to make it to lap 41, we would still need 4 more cautions, because the only reason they got to lap 41 to begin with was because of the 4 yellows we had in the first half of the race. So they would have to make it to lap 41, and we'd need 4 more caution flags on top of that if this field is going to make it on one stop in this race. And that essence of, yeah, this strategy killed us, but no chance. So that's another reason why if we do stay green for a long time, that would really help us. Because then I'm just going to leapfrog them again, because I'll end up having to make my last stop before everybody. So gain more track position there and clean air. Though if we stayed green that long, the field would be so spread apart, it probably wouldn't even be clean air anymore. But I think you get the point. Cleaner air. It's as clean as it's going to get the rest of this race, though, for us. Flying out. Yeah, we're putting together some good laps. I mean, 6-7 tenths quicker than the leaders. Just gotta had to get the traffic out of the way. What was I, like 28th when I pitted? And we drove up through some of the field from last. We pitted about 7 laps ago. I think it was lap 23. It was a lap after the restart. Just dropped our fastest lap of the race that last time by. And again, we have picked up about 2.5 seconds on the leaders in the last 3 laps. So we are very fast. It was 58 seconds off the lead. It was about 55.5 that last time at the line. Again, that last lap was the quickest of the day for Johnson. Something like 28th, yeah. Be near the top 10, I hope so. Longer they stay out, the better for me. And we definitely pitted past halfway through the run. Only gained about 3 tenths on him that lap. Might make it for next weekend's race. Pocono. Still on vacation? When's the new NASCAR game coming out? Fall of next year, more than likely. Definitely going to be 2025. At the very least. Definitely bet we'll be doing some seasons when that drops. We do have cars on pit road right as we speak. And out of everybody that hit pit road that last time by, Johnson's going to cycle past each and every one of them. So up to 32nd now. I mean, it could have been just the back half of the field that pitted there, but Kyle Busch still on the racetrack for the time being. Flying home Monday. How many weeks have you been away from home now? I feel like it's been a couple. Definitely have to push this fuel window out as far as I can. Car's just leaving pit road up ahead. And we'll cycle somewhere in the middle of everyone. Locking those brakes up big time, getting into turn 1. 27, yeah, still several cars obviously out ahead of us. It's going to take a while to cut through this field. That was probably the best way I could have done it. Kyle Busch again staying out of the track, so he's going to make it to at least lap 35 with the 4 cautions we've seen today. Oof. Caught a little bit of the grass there. Wanted to hook me to the right. As long as Tony Stewart doesn't cycle into the lead, I'm all right with that. And Busch is actually in pretty heavy traffic right now. And remember, we did have a pit road speeding penalty that costed us 5 seconds also. So wherever we're going to end up cycling when everything actually cycles all the way through, just think we'd be 5 seconds ahead if it weren't for the pit road speeding penalty. So definitely going to have to make sure we don't do that the next time we end up having to make a stop. Busch is in right now, so is Brian Vickers, so both the other Hendrick cars are pitting at the same time, same lap. Lap 35 coming to lap 36. Even cycling where we have right now, at least we have clean air. Traffic to roam with for the moment. Fastest lap of the day for Johnson.
Car on your right. Car driving better for you now?
11th.
All clear, bud.
So Johnson up to 11th after pitting from 28th, and that was with a speeding penalty. And that is because of the clean air and the fresh tires he had, but now he's got a little bit older tires than the rest of the field. Everybody out on the track has about 11 to 13 lap fresher tires than I. It's going to make it a little harder trying to get through everybody. Oh, contact in the bus stop up ahead, side by side. I think that's Dale Jr. and Martin Truex Jr. who might have made contact with one another. That opened up the bottom for Aaron Crocker to get by Earnhardt as well. These 3 cars slowing each other down. Johnson closing in behind him. Jimmy outside of Earnhardt. Oh, what an under-over move. My inner SVG just happened right there. Brake early. Cut underneath him. Johnson with the dive. Under Earnhardt, he's going to lock the brakes up into turn 1. A little contact. A little contact with Dale to get the 10th. Oh, man. Grabbed that gear from 3rd to 4th, and it hooked the car. Lost some ground. Trying to reel in Aaron Crocker, Martin Truex Jr. again. Big dive into turn 6. Johnson underneath Crocker. Forcing his way clear. That passes for 9th. Still 9.7 seconds off the lead. Both Truex and Johnson closing in on Ryan Newman up ahead. Great acceleration getting out of turn one there for Truex. Been away from home since March. Oh, more than a couple of weeks. Big closing right through the bus stop and all the way through turn 5 for Johnson. With Truex right there. Into turn 6. Oh, Jimmy leans on that 39 of Ryan Newman. Truex back to the inside of Johnson. Couldn't hold on. Jimmy with a little bump and run on Newman. Oh, Newman slams back into him. Ryan was not happy about that. That actually costed him not only Johnson getting around him. Johnson may have gotten around him after the initial contact anyway, but Truex definitely wouldn't have gotten through. He did now. Puts a buffer car between those two, and Jimmy can work on trying to run away again. Well, Truex going to go wide. And return still back in front of the 39 of Newman. Still win, definitely can. But not going to lead the most laps. But we can still win. Lost a lot of ground in the S's to Elliott Sadler there. Got to get him back through turn 5. Stay in the draft. Headed for turn 6. Little door-to-door contact. And Johnson is clear. We'll break the draft to protect the bottom now on the next long straightaway. Johnson now trying to play catch-up with the next car in front of him, J.J. Yaley in the 18. And that would be for 5th. Further up through the field you go, though, the more spread apart the cars are from position to position. Sadler late in the braking. Johnson squawks the tires quite a bit. Steady control of the car at least. Big closing rate through turn 7. Johnson to the inside of Yaley on the front stretch. What a corner. Drag race for turn 1 now. Full contact. Johnson's clear. I'm definitely not making clean passes. I get underneath them clean, but I'm kind of self-clearing. Figure if Denny Hamlin can do it, I can. The old Denny Hamlin move there. Force him up the track, force him to lift. Haven't caught Tony Stewart yet. Which means he's either second, third, or fourth.
Check your fuel gauge. Not much gas left.
Quarter of a tank of gas left before Johnson will have to pit again.
8 seconds back on the leader. Stay hungry.
Pushing hard right now, but better hope we can make it on fuel. One more stop after this. $40 laps to go. I'd like to make it a little less than 30 to go before we pit again, to be completely honest. Feel that's going to give us the best opportunity to make it to the finish. Seven seconds off the lead. I mean, that's the thing, too. We're running such a faster pace compared to everybody else on the racetrack. Try backing it up a little bit there through turn one. Try to get out of the gas a little bit more in the corners and not push as hard 100% of the way around this track. The front tires are starting to wear a little. Yeah, Tony Stewart doesn't look to be third or fourth place up ahead, so Stewart's definitely in second. 53, 54, you'll be fine. It's kind of what I'm thinking. Oh, we got a slow car. Slow car just held up. Whoever that was that Mark Martin we just passed? Whoever blew an engine trying to make their way back to pit road was in turn 6. Slowed down. Mark Martin makes an easy pass for Johnson for fourth, and he closed in a couple seconds on the leaders, too. Went from 7 seconds off the lead to about 4.5. There's Stewart in second all of a sudden. Kenny Wallace is the third place car. I don't think we're going to make it that far. I didn't think we were going to burn through this much fuel. This early in the run. Should be able to make it to lap 50. I don't think I'm going to get beyond that. Johnson underneath of Kenny Wallace. Drag racing for third into turn one. And Johnson is clear. Forces his way by for P3. So Stewart in second. Again, Kyle Busch leads a little past the halfway point in this race. At least, I mean, short pitting, I should be able to get back by Stewart with ease. Definitely don't want to speed this time. Well, I don't know, though, because we're going to be in the middle of traffic where before we weren't. So making up, you know, time with fresh tires and clean air versus dirty air is way different.
Number 33 isn't going to give up that position easily.
At 47 at the line. Fastest lap of the day by Johnson. Probably going to have to try to pass Stewart here in the next few corners. Next lap or two. Got a good drive off turn one. I definitely drove it in much deeper than him. Might take another half lap to a full lap to get by him.
The 33 car isn't going to let you by easily.
Stewart up a lane through turn 5. A little clean air down hooked on the curbing. We're going to stay out this time. I'm going to pit at lap 48. I don't trust that I'm going to be able to make it all that much further on fuel. Oh, Stewart running Jimmy Johnson wide there in turn 6. He's definitely not being nice to me today. Well, lap 48 now at the line. About 3.7 seconds behind Busch yet.
The 33 car is blocked.
I'd like to make it at least one more. I think we can only go about 27, 28 laps, so. That's tough.
Number 33 is getting in your way.
Yeah, I'm pitting this time. I don't want to risk running out of gas here. That Stewart's not going to be an easy pass either.
The 33 car is going to make it hard for you to get around.
Exhibit A.
You got to race a little cleaner. You're in second. Number 33 is shadowing behind
Well,
you.
just ran out of gas.
Car to your left.
Well, that was perfect timing because that was about when I was going to have to brake to come into the pits anyway, so I didn't really lose any time. Might have helped Stewart up just a little bit, but I didn't lose much time to Busch on pit entry, and I didn't speed that time either, so that's also good. All right, well, 4 tires and gas.
Check the sheet metal.
Had a clean first stop. Pit stop number 2, hopefully going to be clean. Now we just got to hope everybody else has to pit 2 more times. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think we're going to have to see a caution here at some point. Clean stop by the boys. See where we'll cycle out.
Clear on either side.
Looks like we're the last car on track right now, so we'll have a little bit of clean air, at least for a few laps. Clean air for a few, and that'll be it. As Kyle Busch continues to dominate here at Watkins Glen. Lap 50 this time by. It's tough too, because if we get a couple more cautions, I think we can make it still.
We're on lap 50.
Fuel saved now. Oh, man. I don't think we can make up that much by trying to save gas. We're well short. Short pitting helped us gain track position, but I didn't think... Well, we only pitted about 10, 11 laps before them, so it'll be interesting to see how much before them we'll actually end up pitting here. We'll take a field pass for the first time today. We'll swap to Brian Vickers first. Vickers is currently in 15th. I don't know why I said 15th. 21st. Where did I get 15th from? I saw the 5 and the 1, but that's the lap. It is 51 and not 15. I don't know. I don't know what I did there. It's going to be a minute before they pit. I think they're definitely in the window to be able to make it to the end on one stop. We're probably not. I'm hoping Jimmy saves more gas with us running as Vickers and Busch here for a little bit. So maybe there's something there. That's what I'm hoping for, at least. 57 car feels smooth. I don't know why he's so far back in the pack, though, with the speed the 5 and the 48 have. I think there's about 31 seconds off the lead. I just went straight. Whoa! Saw that car coming, and I was just able to dodge there at the last second. Well, so much for being 21st, now I'm 22nd. Once I made contact with him in the braking zone, it felt like the car just didn't want to turn anymore. Don't hit that wall. Wow, I knew that was going to be tight. I held my line, though. Look at that. Passed him on the outside. Actually just watched the battle between Keselowski and Ambrose yesterday. That's cool. Definitely a classic. A NASCAR classic.
We're gonna have to take a look at this thing when you bring it in. He's looking to keep this feud going. Be careful. Still beside you.
Oh my goodness, that was a jump scare. I wasn't expecting him to do that. I was side by side with him for so long. Oh my goodness. Well, we got a caution.
He had a good run on you.
That guy just about flipped Brian Vickers. Jeez. I don't know if the fuel window's open yet. It's an interesting caution. It helps Jimmy. He saves a little bit. Vickers flew. We'll keep him out.
Time to earn your money. Those cars behind you have tires.
I don't know that they're going to make it. If we get a bunch of cautions, they can make it. Johnson definitely pit because he didn't stay out. Everybody's right on the edge of that pit window. About 25 laps to go on the restart. So we are back to racing here at Watkins Glen. And Brian Vickers on old tires leads. And is trying to hold it on his teammate Kyle Busch, and Tony Stewart also right there as well. Oh, it's getting light. Vickers on these older tires. Oh, a little contact with a teammate there. Back out in front of him for now.
Number 5 is moving up on you quick. Roger that. We'll take care of it, bud. Gotta call you up, bud. Both sides clear.
Kyle Busch still trying to race for this championship as well here down the home stretch. Oh boy. I didn't want to lift there, and I slid big time after clipping the grass. Vickers doing all he can. His old tire's just in front of Busch. Trying to hold on to the lead. Busch to the inside in turn 6. Well, let's see where Jimmy's at in all this. 40th. I see he didn't really gain any spots on pit road. Something happened to Brian Vickers. I don't know what happened. Oh my gosh, that scared me. Jeff Burton making significant contact there with Jimmy Johnson. And Jimmy just about got turned in the S's. What was I supposed to do there? I mean, that was... He's getting bullied in this race. I'm trying to have Kyle Busch do everything he can to hold everybody else up behind him. Maybe that's going to hold the entire field up. I don't know. I mean, this is unbelievable that Jimmy Johnson just has not been able to catch a break in what is now 4 races in a row if we can't get a good finish out of this. 4 in a row. Taking the dot. Oh my gosh, Jeff Burton, you son of a gun. Just squeezed me. I didn't think that wall opened up right there either. Like, of the time it opened up was the time I hit it. We're going to get a debris caution here real soon. My hood's going to fly off. That's twice now. Yeah, we really didn't need that Brian Vickers caution. I mean, because that just trapped us further back in traffic. We needed it before we pitted is when we needed it. Found Watkins Glen super easy. I mean, when you're not getting ran into by driver after driver, yeah, it does, I mean, this is just stupid. I don't know why I'm having troubles keeping up with these guys. Now, it's probably because of the damage on the car. Jeff Burton trying to wreck me twice now since I swapped back to Johnson. Should get by him here. Yeah, 3 wide. Didn't have to worry about him that time. 20 to go. Got to get the best finishing position we possibly can. Caution for debris. And it was the hood off of the 48, which was flapping in the wind there for a while. I mean, I don't know what we do at this point. I mean, if we stay out 34th, I don't want to give up even the 7 positions I'd give up by pitting, so we're just going to stay out. We're on equal tires. It's got a fast car. I mean, that damage probably going to slow me down a little bit. It has. We're in a make or break situation anyway here. We'll not get up to speed very well, but we're going to get a lot of them into turn 1. Try to make minimal contact down into that corner. Got about 7 spots out of that, up to 27th. I don't know how many more we're going to get here. Whoa, Bernie Lamar. I was trying to stay in the gas and thread through the needle there. It was a tight fit. Lamar went wide. I think we can still get a top 10 out of this at the very least. And that's way better than what we finished the last several races. Harvick's another guy that's going to probably try to wreck me up here. Johnson being extraordinarily aggressive on this restart, trying to get as many spots back as possible. Down to 15 laps to go. Oh. Really don't... I knew he was going to do that. It's alright. We're okay. We're okay. Mayfield went a little wide. I didn't get anything out of that. Try to side draft this car. Got a squeaky toy going on back there. Dive bomb on Mayfield. Spot up to 19th. Busch much harder than the Cup in this game, you don't say. I mean, it was a tight points battle up until we DNF'd 3 races in a row. I mean, that's really what it's boiled down to at this point. Just trying to stay out of trouble. So here we go. 16th.
left side. That's one less guy we gotta worry about. Clear all around.
We know the hardest pass is definitely going to be Tony Stewart if we can get up that far through the field. And Kyle Busch has dominated this race so far. Still a lot of cars bunched up from the restart. Get closer to the top 5, then there's a bigger gap up there. There's 2 passes made in one corner for Johnson that time. Try to get another in turn 7. Chain reaction of events. Just ran his fastest lap of the day. Barrels it all the way down into turn 1. Makes the 3 wide pass. And Ryan Newman trying to slow us down even more. That was just unnecessary. I didn't think he was going to drive us all the way to the wall. I thought he was just going to try to hit us. He just driving us down. And turned himself off of us. 10th place is right there. That slowed us down quite a bit with him doing that too. Johnson trying to outbreak his way to 10th, and he does. Hard to believe we started on the pole in this race. Led early. Tony Stewart spun us into the pits on lap 6. And it's been a fight and a battle uphill to get to the front ever since. Johnson got as high as 3rd before that caution came out after he had already pitted. The Vickers caution. And that trapped him back at 40th again. And from that point, with about 28 laps to go to 12 to go, he's driven from 40th to 10th. It's been a long time coming and only one restart in there. Little contact between Eric Crocker and Martin Truex Jr. into the bus stop that slows both those cars up. Johnson's still digging, trying to close in on both of them. Side by side with the 8. Little contact. Now into turn 6. Johnson self-clearing Crocker. I think there was Mark Martin up there that went a little wide up off turn 7. Thought he was going to get up against the wall. Fastest lap of the day for Johnson. He is clicking together some really good lap times. Yaley trying to hook the 48 there. Johnson cleared though. The next car straightened me out there. Is that Kenseth or is it Martin? One of the two Roush cars. Again, they have similar Pennzoil paint schemes. Big run for Johnson into the bus stop. And into turn 5. Fights to the inside of Kenseth. It is a 17. Clean pass on the 17 car there through turn 5. That gets Johnson to 6th. And we still have 10 laps to go this time by. Drop Kyle Busch back a little bit. He may help us. 10 to go. Stewart's already got 5 bonus points, so might as well have him fade back here. We got team orders. Watkins, Glen. Contact with Kenny Walsh. Turn 1 slowed us up a little. Jimmy Johnson with that refuse to lose attitude here today. We'll bump and run on Wallace through the bus stop for 5th. Stewart is leading. Busch falls to third. Should make for an easy pass on him for us. Johnson's going to try to get both Sadler and Busch here. Picking Sadler behind the 5. Sadler goes up the middle, 3 wide, and he got into the 48. Kind of turned him up towards the 5 car. Sadler still leading on Johnson and nearly hooked him in the S's. Oh my goodness. He was the one that pushed it 3 wide middle. I was trying to pick him behind Busch. Slow this up a little, but still got time to get up to Stewart. I don't know who's in second. Now that would probably be Mark Martin then if we passed Kenseth already, because I don't remember seeing Martin in our way through the field the first time. Kenseth won the Watkins Glen race the first time we were here earlier in the season. Johnson finished second. Can't quite remember where Tony Stewart finished, but shot at the championship, slim to none, especially Stewart having another solid day today. Never know if Johnson would have been able to lead the most laps to get the max points day. Ultimately, if he wins this race, he would have only missed out on 5 points. Potentially. Stewart's got a fast car, though. Running good, clean laps up there. Sadler held us up a little bit lap ago or so. Seven laps left at the line. Johnson trying to stay in the draft here behind Mark Martin. Sails it off to turn 1. Closes on the back of the 6. Back half of the fuel run. Got to get by the 6 car efficiently. Turn 6 is going to be the next passing zone for Johnson. Got to make sure he gets a good exit off turn 5. He stays in the draft behind him. Pretty good line there for Martin. Johnson drives it in deep on the bottom of the racetrack. And he's going to use Martin up to get the second. Didn't want to waste much time there. 6 to go at the line, this time by Tony Stewart leads Jimmy Johnson. And Johnson's about 0.8 of a second behind him. Big close through turn 1. Fuel should be good to go to the end. Honestly, those 2 late cautions, well, we only had 1 yellow during this set of pit stops. Everybody pitted at the same time. Oh, we got a slow car. That was Matt Kenseth up on the top of the racetrack, very slow. Trying to stay out of the way. 5 to go this time by. Johnson closes on Stewart. Caution is out. Oh, that is... I think Kenseth might have caused a big crash back there. That wasn't Kenseth. I don't know who that was. They were all slowing up. Dale Jr. is coming in hot there behind that car that blew an engine. Ran right into the back of him, and that's going to bring out a yellow here. I believe that is the 6th or 7th caution of the race. And we're only going to have a couple laps left when we get back to racing here. That buys Tony Stewart a little bit of extra time. Now we just got to hope we don't get another yellow, because if we get another caution, the race will end under that said caution. Green flag back in the air. 2 laps to go. Johnson doesn't want to waste time. Pulling out of line, trying to get down into turn 1. Stewart with a pretty good first corner. No cautions on the final lap if we do get to that point, but another yellow would likely end the race. Johnson deep into the bus stop. Stewart went deep as well. Stewart hits Jimmy. Knocked him up against the wall just a little bit. No, he tried to turn him down the racetrack, and Johnson got straightened out by the guardrail on the inside of turn 5. Holds on, and now a dead heat for turn 6. The same spot Stewart tried to wreck Johnson earlier. Got into him, but Johnson holds on. White flag in the air, 1 lap to go. We'll give Stewart the top. Oh, look at Busch driving in there deep. Kyle might get by Stewart for 2nd. 5 car restarted in 4th, and he has had the fastest car here today. Busch has dominated the lap sled category. He's right behind his teammate. And Busch could be looking for the win here on the final lap. Here comes Stewart again. Through the bus stop. Side by side between Busch and Stewart. That helped Johnson out just a little bit. Stewart may lose another spot to Sadler. They're side by side for 3rd. Johnson going to protect the bottom here into 6. Same thing in 7. Jimmy back to the gas a little too soon there. Stuck it enough. Final corner. Checkered flag waves on the other side. And Jimmy Johnson comes back to win at Watkins Glen, ending the streak of 3 DNFs in a row. And Tony Stewart fell all the way to 4th there on the final lap from 2nd. Man, we needed that. What a drive. I didn't think there was any shot we had of getting through there. That caution actually allowed for Stewart to lose more laps. I mean, we would have probably gotten him in plenty of time if it stayed green. Caution had a little sense of urgency there. Got by him with a lap and a half to go, but thing that stinks is we're still over 350 points back with 5 races to go. Oh, man. Only beat Stewart by 3 positions. Kyle Busch beats him by a couple as well. We only beat Busch by 1, and Busch got the most bonus points. We only gained 5 points on Kyle today. Yeah, we led 11 laps, 16 for Tony Stewart. Margin of victory, 1/10 of a second, 2 hours, 45 minutes, 32 seconds total time of the race. 72.81 mile per hour average race speed, 32 lead changes. Definitely didn't have that many. I don't know why it said 32. 7 cautions. I think we get so many lead changes because of like green flag pit stops. I think it counts like everybody passing the leader on pit road or something, because we only had... Were those the only 3 drivers that led today? Junior led 2. 1 for Sed. Yeah, I mean, like, there wasn't obviously 32 lead changes between the same 3 drivers. So I don't know where they get 32 from. Ryan Vickers DNF there late, blew an engine. Thomas blew an engine. Greg Biffle, Brian Vickers, Todd Kluver, Flanagan. I think Flanagan was the one that brought out the yellow there where Dale Jr. ran into the back of him. We did have 7 cautions, 5 DNFs total on the race. Yeah, that was a terrible victory burnout. You can tell it's been a while since I won. Banging the fenders off, but hey, he's done that before. So yeah, Kyle Busch second, Elliott Sadler third. No laps led for Elliott either. Tony Stewart finishes 4th, Mark Martin 5th, Kenny Wallace 6th, Matt Kenseth 7th, Aaron Crocker 8th, J.J. Haley 9th, Martin Truex Jr. rounds out the top 10. Maybe 10 to 15 lead change. I don't think it was even that many. I mean, Busch led 49 laps. It was me, Stewart, Busch, Stewart, Johnson. There was like maybe 6 lead change too. During the green flag wave of stops. Cycled out of the pits with the lead on the last set of stops. Well, no, Vickers led. Then back to Busch. Then back to Vickers, back to Busch. So there was probably 8 or 9 lead changes. Forgot about the Vickers part. But yeah, there was about 8 or 9 lead changes today. Not 32. I'll take the win. Doesn't really do a whole lot for us in the point standings because Tony Stewart finished 4th, but a win is a win is a win. Whoop, did the wrong thing. I was supposed to mute the game, not black screen it. Well, we go to New Hampshire next. That's usually a good track for me on these EA games. So maybe we can make it back-to-back. Hope Stewart DNFs. We need him to DNF at least once, maybe twice. He DNF once. If he can DNF once and we win a race, we'll gain like 150. That'll put us 200 back. Yeah, he's going to have to DNF twice. 2 DNFs in the final 5 races for Stewart. Which is 272 back now. He gains 15 points on Tony. And we gain 20. Even with the DNF, Brian Vickers still 6th in the standings. New Hampshire. What are the last 5 races? New Hampshire, Bristol. What is it? Richmond? Give me a second. We've got a lot of shorter tracks left yet. All right, so 5 races left. New Hampshire, Bristol, Richmond, Phoenix, Daytona are the last 5. Honestly, outside of Daytona, I definitely feel I can go out and win the next 4. I finished 2nd at Bristol last time. But New Hampshire, even though we haven't raced there, should be a good track for me. Usually is. Phoenix, haven't raced there yet, but usually is a good track for me. And we haven't raced at Richmond. Yeah, those are all usually good tracks for me on the schedule. Daytona, I finished 38th, so that one is not as good, but yeah, we'll see where we're at. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good rest of your Saturday night. I will see you back better than ever tomorrow afternoon. Live commentary begins at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for the Chicago Street Course race. Hope to see you for that one.